Hey guys, it's Sunday, August the 27th, and I'm standing here preparing supper, and I am listening to a CD that I've had in my CD player for going on, I guess, 7 years. I can't believe it's been that long. But I want to bring up something. I'd made a video about this years ago when this event happened. I made the video a few years back, but the CD that you can hear playing in the background actually cleaned my house. Now, who wouldn't want music to do that for them, right? But I want to explain to you what happened. A friend of mine had given me this CD a month or two before, and I had it in my CD player, and I had been listening to it. And a young girl that I had seen, college student here in our area, was having a hard time, and I reached out to her. She's from her parents were missionaries over in I don't even remember, Philippines or somewhere, maybe Ethiopia, and so she was here in the States, and she'd gone to school. She was getting bullied because of her Christian beliefs. The school that used to be a Christian school was now very progressive, we'll just say. But her parents had gone to school there back when it was a Christian school, so they wanted to send her there. They had no idea. So she was having a hard time, and I told her, I said, well, anytime you need a family, a home, somewhere to come to, consider us family. You don't have family locally, so we'll be happy to bring you over, have dinner, stay the night if you need to get away. I didn't expect her to ever follow up with me on that. I mean, she acted like, yeah, okay, whatever, but she didn't seem all that interested in what I was saying. Well, a week later, I got a phone call from her, and she said, can I come to your house? And it was a Friday evening. The kids and I were all my husband, my boys and all we were gonna go out to eat or do something. And I said, guys, you all go ahead. She, the way the text was so blunt, I thought maybe she was having a hard time, and I wanted to be here to talk to her. So she came over, said hey to my family, and then they left. They said they'd be back home around 10 o'clock. And so she and I sat and we were talking, and I asked her about her testimony, and she was sharing that with me, and I was sharing my testimony with her, and we were having an amazing spirit-led visit. And suddenly, she and I were sitting across from one another. I was on the coffee table sitting facing her, and she was on the fireplace hearth. And something passed between us. We could feel it, like when someone runs by you really fast. There's that whoosh feeling. And immediately she and I both became nauseated. Severely. I've never had anything like this happen, ever. She immediately jumped up and said, I'm sorry. I brought something here. I'm sorry. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she just kept apologizing, but she was terrified. In fact, we have a little baby grand piano in the corner. She went and got under it. She was shaking like a leaf. I've never seen. All the blood had rushed out of her face. And I said, what is happening? What is going on? And she said, I brought something here, and he's standing over in your breakfast area by your table. She could see whatever it was. I couldn't see it. And so I said, okay, well, we'll address what's going on later on. I just want to get this out of my house because at this point it was around 10 o'clock and my family was expected home at any moment. And so I charged it. I said, you tell me exactly where it is. And she said, it's over in the corner. I'll show you. Walk with me here. She said it was right there in that corner. There's a bunch of junk over there. She said, it's got black wings, a gold crown, and a red cape, and its head is touching your ceiling. We have 10-foot ceilings over there. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she was, again, y'all, terrified. I hope this music isn't too loud. So I went over and I said, Yeshua rebukes you. And then she yelled, it's run into your guest bedroom. I'm like, what? I gotta turn this down, but you can hear this music. I want you to hear this because what I'm gonna tell you pertains to this. Okay, so you can see we have tall ceilings throughout the house, but over by that guest bedroom area, the dining table, That is 10-foot ceilings. Okay. Okay, so I charged it. Wherever she told me it was, I ran to it and said, Yeshua rebukes you. And she said, okay, it's run over here. Now I know you rebuke and you bind them, cast them to the feet of Yeshua. I didn't know that at the time. Okay, I was just rebuking all over the place. And so it ran into our guest bedroom. I went in there and I was rebuking it. The whole time I felt so nauseated, y'all. It felt like a thickness in the air, okay? So then she said, after it ran into the guest bedroom, which is right here off our kitchen, I ran in there and I rebuked it. And then I went to the front door and I opened that front door and I said, get the hell out of my house in Yeshua's name. And that thing whooshed by me. I could feel the whoosh again. And I looked out my guest bedroom, out on the front porch where I'd opened the door. And I didn't see him, but I sensed some very powerful angels standing right off of our front porch steps. And I knew that they were taking this demon into custody. That's all I knew. I knew nothing else. So after all of that, the house is still like nauseating. There was some kind of a residue, like a spiritual residue that remained in my home. And my family was coming home any moment, so they said, okay? So I just stood there at the front door and I'm marveling at what's just happened and I'm feeling like I still need to throw up. And I heard loudly in my spirit, play praise music, play that praise CD. And I was like, oh yeah, it's in the CD player. And I ran over and I started playing that praise music. Now this isn't some kind of a contracted artist that you're going to hear on radio station. This is Kimberly and Alberto Rivera. And I had never heard of them. Like I said, a friend gave me this CD and said, hey, check these people out. And I was listening to it, had it in my CD player. That was all I knew. I know now that the Father got ahead of us and he put that in there. Had me have that in my CD player. Because as it played, I could feel the house breathing the music in. And it was cleansing the air. And I felt less and less nauseated until eventually the nausea went away. And I could take a deep breath. I was like, wow, I didn't know music could do that. And then I went and looked under my piano because the poor little girl was still up under there trembling. And I was like, okay, listen, I need you to come out from under there. Everything's fine, okay? It's dealt with. He's not here anymore. I need you to tell me what happened. I need to know, what are we dealing with? And she said that she was at her college dorm room. She hadn't intended to ever call me or come see me. I'm going to turn the music back up just a little bit. She hadn't intended to ever call me or come see me. She thought that was a nice gesture, but she was fine to not follow up on that. But she was sitting at her dorm room, and she was studying for an exam she had. And she felt something get chained to her. And the way she describes it was like a ball and chain, like it was on her ankle. She looked down, she looked around, she didn't see anything. But before she got to this part of the story, she said, here's what I need to tell you about myself. I can see angels and demons. My Father can see them. I'm the youngest of 4 children, and I'm the only one of any of my Father's children that can see like he can see. We have those eyes. I guess they're called seers. I don't know. But she said, I've always been able to see angels and demons. And she said, I was in my dorm room and I felt something get chained to me and I looked around, I didn't see anything. And she said, normally I can see, what the demons that she sees are the little impish ones that cause havoc. You know, they trip you or they spill your drink or they cause you to have a bad day or whatever, the little impish ones. She said, I've never seen a demon this powerful and tall and big, and I don't even know what kind of demon this is. I've never seen one like this before. And it wasn't until she had come here with this thing chained to her. She knew as soon as it got chained to her that she needed to come to my house. That's all she knew. That's why she texted me and said, I need to come see you. She didn't even know why. She just knew that she had to come see to my house. Okay, so we're sitting there and we're sharing the testimony. She says she's getting sleepy. It's like 10 o'clock. And she wanted to leave. And I kept asking her, are you fine? You got a 30-minute drive. You want to continue to visit? And she said, yeah, she knew. Every time I asked her if she wanted to needed to leave, she said she knew she had not finished what she came to do, and that she was on mission. She didn't know what the mission was. But we're sitting there visiting, and we're talking, sharing testimonies, and then that thing broke off. And it ran between us. And that's when she could see it. She couldn't see it up until that point. And that's when she was terrified. She told me where it was, and I went chasing it. And got it out of the house. Well, I asked the Father, what was that all about? I need to know what that experience was. Was this something she shouldn't have done, or was this something you were doing through her? And immediately I had the understanding, like a download, when you get those. I had the understanding that this demon was plaguing that college campus. We actually looked up the description of these demons. The one that she saw here in my home had a gold crown, a red cape, and was like a giant bat, demonic with black wings. We just Googled which demon has the gold crown and red cape. We didn't know. There's actually occult websites where they list descriptions of demons because people playing with Ouija boards and whatever else nonsense, they summon stuff and they don't know what they're summoning. And so there's a description of demons on that website, and it turns out that this demon was described on this website as a duke or general in Satan's army. High ranking. And the Father had given me the understanding when I prayed and asked, what was that? Why did it get brought here? The understanding was that demon had been plaguing that college campus. It was wreaking havoc there. And the students that go to that school that went there as Christians, they were trying to combat it. They couldn't. It was just too powerful for them. For whatever reason, that was my understanding. And that's why my little friend who was on that college campus had it chained to her. And then she knew to call me. And our home has been consecrated for the Father. It will be used as a place of refuge. It is one of his high places. We're on the very tip top of a mountain. So he's made it clear this will be a place that he will send people for refuge. And so we're prepared for that. But also in the meantime, apparently demons get sent here to be done away with. Y'all. But the point I'm trying to make is music. Have a praise CD or something in your arsenal. It cleaned my house. And when that demon left and that residue, that filthy, nauseating, spiritual, dark residue that was left in my home got cleaned out with this praise music. I'm going to put a link in the description box for the 51 minutes long CD or music playlist of this CD that I listen to every time I'm in the kitchen doing anything. It just plays on a loop because I've seen what music can do. And if you you work often or you're away from home a lot, I would leave praise music playing. Demons cannot be where praise music is playing, I guess. I mean, I can't see that spirit realm, but my friend could, and she was terrified. None of us want to see what's going on in this world right now. They're more powerful than ever, it seems like, but greater is he that is in us than he that is in this world. So be encouraged. The Father has given us weapons. Let's use them. You all be blessed, and thanks for listening.